Neil Oliver's just done this amazing video and I really like it. Everything that he said in principle and theory, I agree with the whole video. I've even shared it to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But there's something with Neil Oliver, I don't know why or how, but he's getting his terminology mixed up and wrong. And therefore, when he's communicating the things that he's saying, I know that what he means and what he says is correct and right, but he's using these terms and terminology that are wrong. And it kind of spoils it in a way, because when he uses the word statute, he's saying that he's talking as if statute law is not the underlying principal law that all of other laws have to comply with, right? And then when he says common law, right? Common law is only really the legislation, right? But when common law is meant to be the law that comes down with the people and is judged by the opinion of the peers, really. Common law is meant to be the common law around for normal regular folks in normal regular laws, but it's meant to be judged by the law, but it can be overridden by the peers their opinions. They judge each other. Now the problem is that when Neil Oliver describes all the things that are going wrong with the government and their, contravening our rights, the model that Oliver sets out and what he says that, is being done wrong, I agree with. It's like he's got a model on the table and he's, saying, this is the model, but yet he's got the name tags on it wrong, right? And it spoils it because it's misleading to people, right? And he needs correcting. The statute law is the overriding principles of law that are in rights that is not meant, it can't be changed. A lot of it can't be changed. And even if they did, it's not easy to do it. And all of the other legislation has to comply with that and be compatible with it. I'm not wrong about this. Now, the thing with the normal standard and modern legislation is that you don't even have to apply that. You don't have to apply the common legislation because the peers can decide not to apply it. It doesn't have to be applied, but we're not getting that now. We're not having that effect of them not applying it because, firstly, in the mid-1800s and following, they took the judiciary out of the magistrates' court and then they took them out of the civil courts. So we're not really getting common law because we're not getting people applying their conscience to normal standard legislation. You're getting a magistrate or justices mainly who are just having a very not very conscience-led legislation, and they've got a prerogative coming down through the courts and the justice system where they aren't even granting people. We're being denied common law, really, because very less people want to go to a Crown Court in front of a jury. Extinction Rebellion are getting common law now, and they're actually getting it applied quite well. But they shouldn't even have that because of statute. Now, the magistrates' courts and Crown Court and civil courts are not even applying and upholding and obeying the statute. The statute judges, ministers, and councillors, that law, the statute, right? Look, right, you and me are all meant to comply with the law, But when we go into a court, we can be judged by our peers and they don't have to apply the law, right? They can apply their conscience. But the statute is law that everyone has to comply with. If you don't have the statute, you haven't got the rights to even go through the process of common law or even go about upholding it because, for example, the charters that they gave and the Bill of Rights and so forth that empower you to be able to arrest people or even perform functions, lawful due process, is under statute law that you've got the right to do it, right? And there's an obedience required. Now, the thing, judges, there's you and me have got offences, common people, right? And we can be judged by our peers. The statute set out law that is for the councillors, the ministers, and the justices to obey. And they don't have the right to fail to obey it. Now, if they don't obey it, you and me have got problems. Because when you and me don't obey the law, we go through normal court and process with the justices and the sheriffs and the judiciary. We've actually got a right under those common law frameworks and the charters to actually hold the judges, the justices and the sheriffs to account equally as they hold us to account, right? But not the judges from London and the peers and the MP who is under the jurisdiction of Parliament, not the local charter or what it was, the local jurisdiction.